Hi, my name is Maciej Laskowski and I'm with the Lublin University of Technology in Poland. In this video, which is the part of the course Introduction to Usability and Accessibility, I will be talking about disabilities and assistive technologies. First, we're gonna discuss the problem of the disabled people and using the internet. Due to their impairment, people with different disabilities may rely more on the services provided online. For example, it may be easier for people with motor impairment to perform certain actions online, from shopping to maintaining social contacts, as they are able to do it without leaving their homes. So, we have to consider the influence of internet and its content on the life of the disabled person. We have to analyze it holistically. Do all the disabled person need special treatment while browsing the World Wide Web? Do we have to pay particular attention to the needs of the disabled while designing a website? The answer is yes, no, maybe. Actually, it depends on the type of disability. We can divide disabilities into 4 groups: visual, motor, auditory, and cognitive. And now we're gonna discuss each of these groups separately. First, visual. Visual disabilities include blindness, various types of low vision and poor eyesight, and various types of color blindness, and so on and so forth. Motoric. Motor disabilities include difficulties or inabilities to use limbs, tremors, muscle slowness, loss of the fine muscle control, etc. Auditory. For example, deafness and hearing impairments. Cognitive. Cognitive disabilities such as developmental disabilities, learning disabilities, dyslexia, etc., and other cognitive disabilities affecting memory, attention, logic, and so on and so forth. So, now let's discuss the difference between those disabilities and how they affect using the web or work with a computer in general. Considering people with motor and auditory impairment, we can treat them generally as quote normal unquote users, as their disabilities should not prevent them from seeing or interpreting the majority of information published online, as it is usually published in text form. Truth to be told, orally impaired people may have difficulties with multimedia, at least with the part of the content which is presented in the audio form, such as my voiceover to this presentation. But on the other hand, many multimedia websites provide at least partial alternative to their audio content, for example subtitles for movies. This is caused not only by care about people with auditory impairment, but also by the fact that many people work online with their speakers turned off, for example while in office. Although, if we consider motor impairment, it has to be said that major problem, which the disabled face, is poor information architecture. Some people with motor disabilities may not be able to use a conventional input device such as mouse or the keyboard, but again, it won't prevent them from seeing and interpreting the majority of information published online. So, we can remove both motor and auditory disabilities from our list. Users with cognitive disabilities should also be eliminated from our further consideration, as on the one hand they may be not fully responsible for their actions due to their impairment, for example if they are mentally retarded, but on the other hand, some of those disabilities, like dyslexia, dyscalculia, and so on and so forth, should not interfere with users' performance online, as long as we are considering information published online. So again, we can remove also cognitive disabilities from our list. So now we are left with visual disabilities. Visually impaired users have a priori difficulties with seeing any message published online, but we have to divide this particular group of users into at least 2 subgroups. People who are blind, or legally blind, so declared blind by the law, and the sighted, but with their vision being impaired. For example, colorblind of people with various vision sharpness disabilities. Assistive technology versus adaptive technology. The term adaptive technology is often used as a synonym for assistive technology. However, they have different meanings. Assistive technology is by definition any object or system that increases or maintains the capabilities of people with disabilities. Adaptive technology is, on the other hand, any object or system that is specifically designed for the purpose of increasing or maintaining the capabilities of people with disabilities. This means that adaptive technology is a subset of assistive technology. As it was mentioned before, some people may not be able to use a conventional input device such as mouse or the keyboard. Therefore, it is important for software functions to be accessible using both devices. This requires good information architecture. Although you should keep in mind that the majority of motoric disabled persons would actually use mouse or alternate input devices as switches, joysticks, or trackballs than the standard keyboard. Screen keyboards are also used quite often, but they usually need some kind of input devices like the particle keys, which brings us back to the beginning of the slide. Of course, there are numerous technologies to assist data input from user, not replacing but facilitating human-computer interaction. Keyboard shortcuts, mouse gestures, predictive text, or speech recognition. Speech recognition technology is especially a compelling and suitable alternative to conventional keyboard and mouse input, as it simply requires a simple audio headset or just built-in microphone. Moreover, speech recognition becomes increasingly popular due to commonness of smartphones, as it's easier, even by a quote-unquote normal user, to control the device by voice than by other means. Now let's talk a bit about assistive technologies for visually impaired. As it was mentioned before, we can divide visual impairment into two categories: the sighted, but with their vision being impaired, or the blind, or legally blind. In the first case, there are numerous software solutions or interface hacks for helping visually impaired user, using large fonts, high contrast or colorblind-friendly themes and icons, screen magnifying software, and so on and so forth. In the second case, the most popular solutions for accessing the content are using screen reader software that provides feedback via text-to-speech, or using a refreshable braille display, like this one. Voice can be used not only to access the content of, for example, the websites, but also to control the device. Sound similar? To sum things up, assistive technologies are used every day by almost everyone. Just look at your smartphone and look how you can control it using your voice. So that's the illustration that everyone benefits from adjusting the software and the hardware to the needs of the people who are disabled. Thank you, and see you next time. In case you want to get in touch with me, here are some details on how to get me via mail or via Twitter.